Hello, and welcome to our Expert Network Spotlight series. Before we dive in, here's a quick note from our legal team. Today, we're joined by David Faraca of Independence Mortgage Group and our managing partner, Eric Jefferson, to share quick and helpful money-saving mortgage strategies buyers should know. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome to this month's installment featuring our Expert Network Spotlight. This is where we bring professionals within our network that not only do a great job, but ask them to deliver some both actionable and timely ideas you may consider. This month, very excited to have David Faraca from the Independence Mortgage Group. David, want to welcome you and thank you again for taking the time to join us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, sir.
I'm excited for the conversation. And we think about home ownership. Obviously, that's a very difficult task when you think about limited supply. Also, when you consider the move in rates that took place over the last handful of years. Now, we have up on the screen here graph of the 30-year mortgage rate. Obviously, do have expectations. We hear a lot from Chairman Powell, a lot of conversation about rates coming down, obviously not happening at the pace that some would like. Nonetheless, though, did want to provide two actionable ideas you may consider if you're already existing homeowner, regardless of what that mortgage rate is. And to illustrate that, I want to start by giving a little bit of context. Again, for those that may not be as familiar, you think about a monthly mortgage payment. That is based a combination of both principal repayment as well as interest. Those are generally outlined in a amortization schedule, which you can see on the screen here. We have a hypothetical 30-year fixed mortgage at a rate of 7 today, and that's for a $500,000 balance. Obviously, everything we're going to discuss would apply regardless of the specific metrics or components of any mortgage that you may be considering. As you look at the screen, particularly on the right-hand side, to me, what arguably jumps out the most is just the amount of interest paid over that 30-year period. You also see there in the sequence of every 60 months, that payment, although that will remain consistent, obviously the breakdown of that in the earlier years, more interest, in the later years, more principal, until that's ultimately paid off at the end of that 360-month period. So we think about two strategies you may consider if you are an existing homeowner looking to save some of those interest dollars. And the first, I know not all companies will necessarily offer this, but the concept of a biweekly versus the traditional monthly payment. David, walk us through, if you would, what exactly that entails and then the benefit to consumers.
So as you mentioned, not every mortgage servicing company offers it, but if yours does, and it's a simple call, you can essentially make 13 payments. So if you make biweekly payments, 52 weeks in a year. So if you do it biweekly, you essentially pay an extra mortgage payment for that year. Essentially, in this scenario, you save close to $116,000 in interest. So every year, you're able to knock off whatever the mortgage payment is, $3,200, $2,600, that goes directly to principal. So just confirm with your servicing company that they allow biweekly payments, and it's a great way to essentially pay the same. You're just splitting the mortgage payment in half on a monthly basis, and you end up paying more principal down, which in turn saves you money and interest. It's a no-brainer if you're able to do it.
As you can see illustrated here, so not only is that a substantial amount of interest savings, and we also shave just under 5 years off of that mortgage. So again, you think about how do you go from the 360 down to 300 payments, all else being equal, fewer payments, probably better. And again, that's a function of accelerating, paying down some of that principal that can not only save you the interest dollars, but also the time. Now, as you mentioned, not every company will necessarily do that. But another idea that you mentioned for those that won't would simply be paying a little extra more each month. Again, those dollars going to directly go to reducing that principal balance. Talk us through that example, if you would.
Absolutely. So in this example, if your company doesn't allow the servicer doesn't allow you to the biweekly payments, you can simply just add on your monthly coupon, an extra couple $100 a month towards principal. Make sure to mark on the coupon when you send the check back that you are paying down principal. Some companies will put that toward a few payments. So you want to make sure you're mentioning you're paying down the principal. But it's similar to biweekly mortgage payments. If you pay an extra $200 a month in this example, you're cutting out 5+ years on the term of the note, which brings you from a 30-year down to a 25-year, 20 to a 15-year, which is great. And you save, close to $100,000 just by a little extra principal every month. In my situation, the mortgage is, say if it's 4,200, I put 4,500, just round up, pay a couple extra dollars every month, and cut off some significant term on the end, and $100,000 in interest.
Absolutely. And again, in that example, not necessarily as impactful of the biweekly payments. That being said, still another strategy you may consider, assuming you have cash flow there, that will certainly save you north of 6 figures over the course of that loan, shaving some time off there as well. Now, I know we wanted to keep this intentionally very short. Are a handful of other strategies and techniques that folks like yourself can work with borrowers, find the best solution for them? At a high level, any immediate thoughts come to mind? Other techniques borrowers may want to consider?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I would mention. One is if interest rates do come down and there's an opportunity to drop from a 30-year to a 25-year or a 25-year to a 20-year and keep the payment similar. So if you're at 7% now, if you locked in now and rates came down to 6.25, which we're anticipating over the next 6 to 12 months, maybe as opposed to refinancing to a low rate going back to a 30, maybe you drop from a 30 to a 20-year. Payment will be similar because of the drop in rate, but you're obviously paying back the loan over 240 months on a 20-year example, as opposed to 60 months on a 30-year example. So you can cut off 10 years on a mortgage and pay similar because of the drop in rate. Another tactic that some people use is what's called a recast. So right now, if you have, and a lot of people with bonus income or a little extra discretionary income can take a portion as minimal as $10,000 and recast your current mortgage. So if you had a $500 balance and you recast, not refinance, but recast, you pay the principal down on that loan. And the next month, your mortgage payment will be based off the lower principal amount. So you can reduce your monthly payment. When adding principal to a loan, you don't reduce the monthly payment, you just cut years off the back end. By a recast, you can take an example of the $10,000, reduce from 5 to 490. The next month, your mortgage payment will be based off the reduced principal amount on that loan.
Great. And I'm sure there are many others. If folks were interested in taking advantage of any opportunities that would be appropriate based on their circumstances, tell me what's the best way that folks could reach out and connect with you?
Thirdly, I'm always on my cell. I know buying a home or refinancing or running numbers isn't a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday thing. So I'm available weekends and after business hours if needed. And I'll have my cell phone. You can look me up online, Independence Mortgage Group, indmrtg.com, and happy to discuss any or all options. There's several things to do, ways to prepare for upcoming purchase, credit scores, loan to value, debt to income ratios. There's several things we could talk about to help reduce your payment and save you some in the mortgage world.
Perfect. Well, appreciate you taking some time here, sharing some insights. Again, I can say firsthand, working with you has been very easy, straightforward process for something that can at times be very complicated. So appreciate all the work that you do on behalf of those clients we have the opportunity to serve, as well as everyone else. Greatly appreciate you spending some time with us here today.
Excellent. Great to see you. Thanks for the opportunity. Happy to help anyone I can.